Wine School. Mike, with me as always, Eric. Special guest tonight, we got Chuck and Pablo. What's up, guys?
Hey,
we're going to drink some Chateauneuf-de-Pape.
All right.
How good is that?
That is...
Came to the right episode.
This is the one.
This is the one. This is absolutely the one. Chuck, you want to talk about today's sponsor?
Cannella liqueurs.
Cannella liqueurs.
We're like...
Cinnamon cordial. So if you don't like drinking the, what's the...
Fireball.
With the antifreeze in it.
Oh, yeah.
You just got busted for putting
Go to a classy place.
Yeah, go get some Cannella liqueurs, cinnamon cordials.
Absolutely.
All right. So tonight we're going to drink Chateauneuf-de-Pape. And besides being really fun to say, it's a really interesting wine and a really interesting place. So what is Chateauneuf-de-Pape all about? Well, in the old world, they label grapes by where they're grown, not by what grapes are in it. So Chateauneuf-de-Pape is a region, it's an area, and it's in France, and it's in the Rhone Valley. So the Rhone Valley runs north to south. Rhone River runs right through the middle of it. The northern Rhone is very steep and hilly, and they grow Syrah.
Right.
The southern Rhone is very kind of flat, and they grow Chateauneuf-de-Pape, and they also make wines like Côte de Rhone or Gigondas, which you may have heard of. So Chateauneuf-de-Pape is this area in the southern Rhone. And it's unique in the sense that those wines, the rules are you can put any of 13 different grapes into it. There's 13 allowable grapes in Chateauneuf-de-Pape. And you can put them in any combination. You can have all of one. You can have some of all 13. You can have 30% of 3 of them. Yeah. And so every Chateauneuf-de-Pape is kind of different
right.
based on the plate.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
And
that.
it doesn't mess it up or anything.
It's all of that counts as a Chateauneuf-de-Pape.
Wow.
So what ends up happening is the big grapes there are Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. And so you'll hear people refer to that as a GSM blend. Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, GSM blend. And a lot of the Chateauneuf-de-Papes will have kind of a third of each, or 50% Syrah, 25% Grenache, whatever. But there are definitely ones that have all the other ones mixed in, and Chateau Beaucastel, which is one of the better Chateauneuf-de-Papes, they make a point out of putting all 13.
Wow.
And so it's like 5% of this, and 3%. And the other, by the way, the other 10, like, you've never heard of.
Yeah, right.
Random grapes.
Yeah.
There's some other interesting things that go on in that area. And one of the things that's unique is the grapes are grown in these fields that are essentially just covered in rocks. It's like the bottom of a riverbed. And the rocks are, like the size of your head. They call them pudding stones or galettes. And they're these, like, literally, you go and you see, Google Chateauneuf-de-Pape vineyard. You'll see it looks like just like the bottom of a riverbed with like just random vines growing out of it. And what happens is it gets reasonably sunny in the southern Rhone, but the sun beats down on the rocks.
Heats them up.
Heats them up, exactly. And then the heat radiates back at night.
There you go.
But at the same time, there's this wind that blows down the length of the Rhone called Les Mistral, which is like this freezing-ass cold wind.
Like a Chinook or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you have these stones that are radiating heat, and you have this icy wind that's blowing down at the same time. So the climatic differences make it a really great place to grow these interesting wines. And the grapes get pretty damn ripe. And when you have pretty damn ripe grapes, you have pretty high alcohol wine. This is what I'm talking about.
That's great in my book.
And so you'll definitely see with the Chateauneuf-de-Papes, a lot of times they're 15-16% percent alcohol wines. And but they don't really have that bite because they're this blend of wines, and there's also this cold wind that's blowing through, and they're very well balanced. But no two are the same, because one producer is producing a GSM blend, and the other one is producing all 13.
And like they have like new oak and old oak and everything.
Exactly. And what we have is you have kind of the old school producers who are very traditional with the way that they make the wines. Then you have the new school producers who are experimenting with all the new technologies and stuff. What we've got tonight is one of each.
Oh.
And so this is going to be awesome. No two Chateauneuf-de-Papes are the same.
Right.
Just
To
in
begin
general,
with, yeah,
to begin
yeah.
with, but we're going to try one of each, and you'll see really the difference in expression and how different this wine can be. But Chateauneuf-de-Pape is such a wonderful wine to drink. You get a good one, and it's just marvelous. The Grenache has this kind of silky tannin. The alcohol is high, but not.
It's almost like a Beaujolais. It has a very dry, but you can taste a little bit of fruit in it.
Yeah, it's got some fruit. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's and some of that's the blend. And anyway, so we're gonna get into it. So we've got two. I'm not gonna tell you which is which. I'm hoping. I don't know. I haven't drank these. We'll see which.
It's going to take extensive testing.
So
All right, here we go.
here we go. One is traditional. One's new school. Okay, so this first one is like prunes and figs and raisins and blackberries and currants, and it's got all kinds of stuff going on in here. But you can feel that heat.
Yeah, the very end of that. Yeah. A little bit of
For
fire
sure.
water on there. All right.
And then the front one,
Ooh, I like that nose better.
also high in alcohol.
Yeah.
It also has that bite to it. But it's much more smooth, silky, elegant.
It's not so abrupt as this. Yeah.
This is right up in your grill.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more refined.
Right.
Okay, so which is which? Which is
I
the
would
old
say, just to guess, that would be the old school because it takes longer and it's a sort of more of a deep, but I'm probably 50% off.
You are 50% off. So the back one is the old school one, which is it's non-filtered. It's a little.
It's got
rough,
high alcohol, definitely.
high alcohol.
There's no mistaking.
And then this is the new school one, which is a little bit more refined, a little more elegant.
Yeah.
And what are we drinking?
All right. So we have a Les Allo de Jupiter Chateauneuf-de-Pape from 2008. And Jupiter, of course, is the biggest planet in our solar system. And it's also the Roman equivalent of the Greek god Zeus. So the reason these guys named their wine Jupiter is Zeus, of course, was a leader of God, ruled Mount Olympus. And these guys based their Chateauneuf-de-Pape on mostly Grenache, king of grapes in Southern Rhone, and that's where the Jupiter name comes from.
Well, it's a bit of a stretch, but okay.
So this is a highly Grenache-driven Chardonnay.
Grenache, yes.
And I'm looking at the bottle. It's 15% alcohol on the label, which means it could be 16.
Yeah.
You know,
And to your point, this wine is actually 16% on the label.
That's what I'm talking about.
That is pretty high.
That's what I'm talking about.
So this is a 2011 Clos St. John. These, from what I understand, this winery is actually very difficult to find. Like you almost need a personal local tour guide to find these guys. They're like tucked behind these like inconspicuous gates.
Piled underneath the stuff.
Yeah, right, totally hidden away. But once you make it there, it's supposed to be an awesome visit. If you guys are ever in France, check it out.
And this is, I think, a Vignes.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
So Vignes. You'll see this on bottles sometimes. It looks like Vielles Vignes.
Yeah.
You know what that means is old vines.
Oh,
And
right.
there isn't really any legal definition for old vines in France. So it doesn't.
Not like
just-
here.
Well, yeah, right.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything here either. But in France, like a lot of times, they'll just sort of each winery will say, well, if it's over 30 years, we're going to call it Vignes, or over 50 or over 70. We don't know. But these guys have definitely said that this is from some of their older vines, and this is a very traditional winery. It's non-filtered. It's old vines. It's a mixture.
Been around for like 100 years, these guys too. So
Yeah. So this is
they
a
have it
great,
down, yeah.
a great comparison of the old versus the new, and you can see there's a difference, man.
There's a clear difference.
I mean, you almost might think these are two different types of wine when you drink them.
I know.
You wouldn't drink them and go, wow, this is both
Yeah.
Chateauneuf-de-Pape. Anyway, that's Chateauneuf-de-Pape, guys. Awesome.
All right.
You want to take us out, Pablo?
You know it.
Take a sip.
We're
We're all
all
waiting.
first, then you'll remember better.
Take your time. We're not
Pretty
going
sound
anywhere.
the duck. Pretty sound the duck. 30 seconds coming your way. Enjoy.
Booyah. Cheers, guys.